Hey kiddies, this is Uncle Spanner and I'm here live in Austin, Texas at Wizard World. There's all kinds of good nerd, geek, and dork stuff. We're gonna go check it out. Come on with me. Alright, I'm here with the Huston Area Ghostbusters group, and we are going to talk to these guys a little bit about building one of these amazing proton packs. So I am here with Tuba, and he's going to give us a little bit. Tuba, how much time and effort goes into actually building one of these proton packs?
It all depends on how much time you want to spend on it. It takes about a few months to a year to fully assemble one. Just depends on your money situation as well. For me, it took about a year to gather up parts, and then a month working on the weekends only to actually build the thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And, you know, electronics are optional kind of thing, or are they pretty much mandatory?
They are optional. Most of the Ghostbusters really want to put electronics in them. Lights are the basic minimum. And then they like to put more lights in it. You know, you're getting the video game type settings. And then you have sound that some people like to put in as well.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Now, how much does one of these packs weigh once it's all said and done?
Well, one of my lighter packs, the one that he's wearing, weighs about maybe 15 pounds. And this one is a medium weight pack, it's about 25, 30 pounds. And this one is about the same. And then the heaviest pack I've built was about 50 pounds.
Okay, okay.
It all depends on what you put in it and what accessories you put on it.
All right, thanks, man. And you guys have a website to throw out there?
Yes, we do. www.HustonAreaGhostbusters.com.
With the Museum of the Weird, a local attraction here in Austin, Texas. So Steve,
yes,
tell me a little bit about the Museum of the Weird.
Well, the Museum of the Weird is located on 6th Street, just 2 blocks away from the convention center. We've been in business since 2005. It actually started off as a little gift shop that me and my wife opened called Lucky Lizard Curios and Gifts. And the reason it was called Lucky Lizard is we would take in rescues of pet lizards that people didn't want anymore. And so we've ended up taking in a Nile monitor, a couple of iguanas, bearded dragon. And in the beginning, the early days, it was just, people would come in all day to look at the lizards in the back of the shop. And I finally decided to, we should open something and like maybe charge admission and have a little collection of oddities back here. So I came up with the Museum of the Weird. What better name? Keep Austin Weird, Museum of the Weird. And so it started off real small, just a few little exhibits, and it's grown steadily over the years. And now we have, you come in, we have a full sideshow. Performers like Juan here, they'll do a whole show for you on stage. We have a life-size King Kong on the 2nd floor. You can actually get in his hands, get your photo taken. We also still have the lizards on display. You'll get up close encounter with the lizards, among other creatures. We have 2-headed animals and mummies and shrunken heads. And
so basically anything you would see in your nightmares is at the Museum of the Weird.
Yes. Okay. If you've ever had a nightmare about it, it's on display.
And this is Juan Martinez. Yes. He's going to put on just a little show for us right now.
All right, now what I'm about to demonstrate for you guys right now is an ancient performing art that began in 2000 BC. It's adopted by performers here in the Americas in the mid-1800s. It's also one of the most dangerous acts a performer can engage in. Each and every time I perform this act, I come within mere millimeters of my life. Now, as you obviously see the sword, obviously this act is sword swallowing. Now, the way this is going to work is this sword's going to go into my mouth, down my throat, between my lungs, behind my heart, and rest right in the very center of my stomach. Afterwards, I'm going to double the level of danger because I'm going to take a bow before you folks here just to show you that the sword is indeed down my throat and this is not some sort of illusion. This doubles the level of danger because if my posture is off at any point in time, this changes the pitch of the sword in any number of directions, increasing the chance that I'll perforate my stomach lining and or my esophageal tissue. Now, this injury becomes fatal anywhere between 5 minutes to 3 days, so wish me the best of luck. Now that everything's said and done, there's nothing left for me to say but down the hatch without a scratch, and well, bottoms up without throwing up.
That is a complete lack of gag reflex is what that is.
Many years.
Yummy.
Practice.
That is 19 inches of solid steel into the very center of my stomach.
Ernie Cline is the writer of FanBoys, and he is currently working on a new project right now. Ernie, why don't you tell us a little bit about that project?
Well, it's my novel Ready Player One. It's a New York Times bestseller that came out last year, and the paperback just came out this last June. And the hero of Ready Player One drives a Delorian that's a mashup of Doc Brown's Time Machine, Kit from Knight Rider, Buckaroo Banzai's jet car, and the Ghostbusters Ectomobile, all wrapped up into one car. So I recreated that car myself, and that's
Here
what
she is
this
right here.
Ecto 88. And the fine people at Oscar Comic-Con were nice enough to let me park it right here in the middle of the building and let people geek out and show it off. So it's got, you can see that's the oscillation over thruster from Buckaroo Banzai, and I got my great sports almanac, my DeLorean remote control, my proton pack, my ghost trap, hoverboard, hovering, so I can travel back in time, bust ghosts, or travel through solid matter. It really, I have all the options open to me.
All right, now Ernie, you wrote FanBoys.
It's true.
And we love FanBoys. I mean, that was a love letter to Star Wars.
Right on, yeah.
What inspired you to write FanBoys?
I grew up loving Star Wars. It's like my favorite thing, and I wrote it when the movie is set in 1998. I was freaking out over the first new Star Wars movie in 15 years. I've been waiting my whole life to see more Star Wars. And if you remember that whole stretch of 1983 to 1999, there was no new Star Wars.
Dry, man. I mean, we had the Ewok Adventures.
Right. So, and it was like, I felt like that was the most anticipated movie in the history of cinema. You're never going to have a whole generation of people waiting, in lines around theaters all across the world for a movie, because that was kind of Star Wars is a unique thing and meant a unique thing to that generation, to our generation, and that was the biggest stretch of there being no Star Wars. There'll never be another time where there is no more Star Wars. There's always going to be cartoons and stuff. So,
and we're thankful for that.
Yeah. So I was really inspired by that, and my mother had passed away from cancer and had known that she was dying, and so I had that idea one day. I'm like, what if I knew that I was dying and I wouldn't live to see this episode 1 that I've been waiting my whole life to see? And as soon as I had that idea, I'm like, if I knew that was going to happen, I would have to drive across the country with my friends and try to break into Skywalker Ranch and see it early. And as soon as I had that idea, I'm like, that would be a great idea for a movie.
And honestly, who hasn't had that thought?
Everybody always. It's like the Death Star. It's like it's like the hidden fortress, the place that every kid dreams of visiting. And
I still dream of visiting.
I got to visit, man. That was the coolest thing about that whole experience. 10 years after I wrote FanBoys, then the movie finally came out, and we got to do the final sound mix of FanBoys at Skywalker Sound. So I got to visit Skywalker Ranch. So it was the coolest, one of the coolest experiences ever, and I was stealing everything that was not nailed down. Phone books, pens, anything that
I didn't hear anything. You guys didn't either.
No, I've already admitted to this. They're never going to let me back anyway, so I might as well go ahead and cop to the fact that anything. They were all joking with me too. They're like, because they knew I'd written FanBoys, they're like, oh, don't steal anything while you're here. And I'm like, oh, I won't, but I took everything. So FanBoys was kind of my love letter to my own, childhood and my own obsession with Star Wars, and we just got to show it for the first time at Star Wars Celebration 6 in Orlando, the big Star Wars convention.
Yeah.
They showed it as a double feature with Episode 1 right after it, so it was like the most awesome thing ever. Yeah.
Darth Maul, Snake Eyes, Ray Park. How you doing today, Ray?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. So what do you think of Wizard World so far?
I love Wizard.
Yeah?
Yeah, Wizard was one of the first shows I appeared at when Phantom Menace first came out, and they've been a great family to me and always invited me out and kept me part of the team, and I love coming out and hanging with fans and meeting up with you guys. It's great.
That's great, man. We love having you out here. We're really appreciative for everything you've done for the community.
Thank you.
When you got the job as Darth Maul, now I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of you before. How did that come about?
I got lucky enough to double James Remar in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and from there and from there, there was rumor it got about. So I hear that I was this crazy kid jumping off his head and just running up walls, and I always wanted to be in film. That's why I got into martial arts. But I realised in that movie I didn't want to be a stuntman. I wanted to be an actor who does his own stunts.
Right.
And then I got a call from Nick Gillard saying they're looking for someone. Can I come in? He heard about me. And then we just got talking. I met George, and then they liked what they saw, and they said, "Oh, why don't you go and audition?" And then I worked with Nick for about a week on fights, and I auditioned as the character.
Right.
And then I got the part. I never thought in a million years that I'd actually play Darth Maul. I always thought, knowing my luck, I'll be the guy doubling
Right.
the actor.
Well, you know, Darth Maul to me was the coolest part of episode 1. I loved watching your stunts. I loved watching your fighting style. It was absolutely great, man. And we appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, man. I'm just a big fan. I'm a big kid, so
all right.
Never grow up.